Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Before I get into my top 10 Raiders head coach candidates list, I want to say this. Once the Raiders hire a head coach, I'm going to be going live, and I don't want you to miss it. So before we get into today's show, hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, because if you're that sad dude that misses me announcing who the Raiders' next head coach is, all I'm going to say right now is I'm sorry. So the way that you guys are going to be seeing here is the top 10 head coaches. I got some honorable mentions, plus coaches that, I'm sorry, are never going to happen. We have them ranked from 10 all the way down to 1, and I'm going to be asking for your participation in today's show because I want the Raiders to see who Raider Nation wants to be their next head coach. Coming in here at number 10, it's Dabo Sweeney, Clemson head coach. Wait, really? He's number 10 simply because he attended the Raiders versus Washington football game and he was wearing some Raiders gear. Not really that I think that's that big of a deal. He signed a 10-year, $93 million deal in 2019 for Clemson. I would be shocked, and I mean absolutely shocked, if the Raiders hired him. But I really truly think if Dabo, who's already gone on record in recent weeks saying that he's kind of sick and tired of college football, Clemson lost their athletic director, their offensive coordinator, and DC in recent weeks. Plus, Clemson's coming off one of the worst years that they've had in a very long time. All I'm saying is this. If Dabo called up Mark Davis, who obviously they're friends, they were talking just a few days ago, and he said, hey, I'm interested, he's going to be put into the conversation. Let's go to number 9 here on my list. It's Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was the Jets head coach from 2015 to 2018, and he's been coaching in the NFL since 2000. For people out there that want somebody who is a defensive-minded coach, because of the old saying, offense can win games, but defense wins championships, Todd Bowles is definitely somebody to keep in mind. I love what they've done so far with the Buccaneers, and he was literally, they made a blueprint how to beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't mind copying that blueprint a little bit. Let's go to number 8 here. Jim Harbaugh, head coach of Michigan. In a recent article written by Jeremy Fowler, ESPN linked, in fact, Harbaugh to the Las Vegas Raiders. For those of you that don't know this, the Raiders, they actually tried to get Harbaugh back in 2014, but decided to go with Jack Del Rio instead. Personally, I think if the Raiders were to hire Harbaugh, it would be a very Gruden-like hire in terms of an old-school head coach that's not really going to bring a lot of flair. That's not something I would want, and I've gone on record saying that I'd be pretty upset if the Raiders went out and made this move. I don't think it's going to be very likely, but he absolutely has to be in the list of top 10 coaches, especially because guys with very, very credible sources are linking him to the job. So this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, which means I want every single Raider fan, every single person that comes across this video to let me know who should the Raiders hire to be their next head coach. So while you're getting hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and let me know down in the comments. Coming in at number 7 for my Raiders head coach candidates in 2022, former OC of the Carolina Panthers, Joe Brady. In an old report, basically right when John Gruden was fired, it was that Brady is the front runner to be the brand new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Since then, Brady has actually been released from Carolina. Now, he hasn't been doing that great of a job, but I'm also going to say that has a lot more to do with Sam Darnold being bad at football than Joe Brady being a mastermind, because personally, what he was able to do with Joe Burrow and that LSU offense in 2019, it was one of the best offenses I've seen in a long time. Now, one of the reasons why I think Brady was fired was because I personally think that he was talking to college teams about, hey, you got some head coaching jobs open, and then they decided to let him go. In terms of being a young coach that can bring a fun new offense to the NFL, I still think Joe Brady is somebody to keep in mind. Coming in here at number 6, another guy who is actually currently not employed in the NFL, Doug Peterson, former head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the Eagles head coach from 2016 to 2020, and he was fired in 2020. Peterson won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia in 2017, being able to bring them their very first Super Bowl in franchise history. He played also in the NFL from 1991 to 2004. Every person that I've talked to, and remember, I grew up in central Pennsylvania, I know a lot of Eagles fans, they loved what Peterson was able to bring. I really think the only reason why he was let go by Philadelphia was because Philadelphia at the time decided that they wanted Carson Wentz and not Peterson. and we can kind of see how that went. It's really, really hard to be able to find NFL coaches that have won a Super Bowl, that have the track record that Peterson has, and he absolutely deserves to be in the Raiders head coach candidates. Now, some other guys who I believe deserve honorable mentions because they're halfway decent coaches, and I get asked all the time, should the Raiders hire this guy? Should the Raiders hire this guy? Greg Roman, offensive coordinator of Baltimore, definitely somebody to keep in mind. Matt Campbell, head coach of Iowa State. Actually, Campbell and Roman were both on my old list that I made back in October, but they don't make my new top 10 now. Luke Fickell, he's done a phenomenal job at Cincinnati, though I see him staying in Cincinnati. If you want a defensive-minded coach, Matt Eberflus of the Indianapolis Colts, really, really like what he's been able to do. And then Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is a phenomenal offensive-minded coach. However, what he did to Indianapolis a few years ago, saying that he was going to be the head coach, actually hired a staff. Parts of his staff decided to move to Indianapolis and then backed out at the last minute. That's the only reason why he's not in my top 10. I do not trust Josh McDaniels. And for that reason alone, I don't see how anybody that besides the Patriots could ever trust that man. And could you bring somebody in who you don't trust? I'm going to go ahead and say that's a big fat no. Now, if anybody out there wants to bet on the Raiders this week, or if you want to bet on the Raiders the entire season, if you want to bet on NFL, NBA, we got the best damn deal on the internet. Head on down to chatsports.com/Raiders. Use promo code Raiders125. That's going to get you a 125% deposit bonus. What does that mean? If you put down $100, you're actually going to get $125 for free to bet with. And because it's the holidays, and I'm just going to tell you, this deal is not going to last forever, so depending when you watch this video, you can send me an email, jersey@chatsports.com for the details. But for first-time BetUS users that use the correct link, that use Raiders125, I'm also going to give you a free Raiders jersey. This has nothing to do with BetUS. This has to do with Chat Sports and out of the kindness of our heart because we want to hook up people who want to put some money down and have a good time. So depending on what jerseys you have, we have Josh Jacobs jerseys, we have Derek Carr jerseys, and we also have Max Crosby jerseys available. So definitely just something to keep in mind there. Crosby, Jacob, Waller, those are the jerseys we have available. If that's interesting to you and you want a free jersey, email us, jersey@chatsports.com for the details. But remember, you're only going to get a jersey if you put down $100 at chatsports.com/Raiders and use promo code Raiders125. Let's get into my top 5 candidates here for the Las Vegas Raiders in 2022. We got Nathaniel Hackett, currently the offensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. And the one thing that I like about Hackett, he's kind of a smaller name, and he wasn't on my list previously that I made. And the reason why he's in my top 5 now, I did more homework, and I went out and I looked at, okay, where has Hackett been? He's actually had quite a bit of success at a lot of places he's been. Syracuse, will we say that that's a blue blood college football team? No, he had some success there. One of the best things that this man has ever done is not only get Aaron Rodgers playing back at an MVP level, which before Hackett was there, Rodgers, look at his numbers. They weren't all that great. Now he's playing at a very high level. But what he was able to do with Blake Bortles in 2016 was phenomenal. Bortles was never even close to what he's been since Hackett. And if you can make Blake Bortles look good, I think you can make almost anybody look good. He's got 7 seasons of NFL coaching experience, and if the Raiders want to get ballsy and they want to try to go out and get an Aaron Rodgers, maybe go out and get Devontae Adams, why not go out and get their current offensive coordinator, who Aaron Rodgers is quoted saying loves his passion and loves his football IQ. Let's go to number 4 here on my list, Byron Leftwich. If you want a fun and entertaining Raiders offense that's not afraid to chuck the ball around, look at Byron Leftwich and everything that he's done from his time in Pittsburgh and his time now in Tampa Bay, being able to learn underneath guys like Mike Tomlin, Bruce Arians. These are the type of moves that I love. Plus, a lot of NFL players, they respect the hell out of him. Tom Brady can't say enough nice things about this guy. You can say what you want about Tom Brady, tuck rule, tuck that, but I respect Tom Brady's football knowledge, and I respect his opinion. And the fact that he has this reputation for being a balls-to-the-wall type of coach, that's somebody that I want in silver and black. That's somebody who I really think can get Las Vegas to where they need to be. So what do y'all think about this? Because this is probably one of the top things out there. Now, Mark Davis has already gone on record in saying that he basically is going to he's basically going to make his decision on Derek Carr before he makes the head coach. But do you think that the new head coach would want Derek Carr? I want you to go down in the comments section right now, type Y for yes or type N for no. Number 3 on my list here, Eric Bieniemy. And yes, Bieniemy is learning underneath Andy Reid, and Andy Reid is a mastermind of the offense and doing a lot of that stuff, but you see a lot of these coaches that are able to be great head coaches when they learn underneath the right people. The fact that Bieniemy's being able to learn underneath Andy Reid, I think is very, very important. The fact that he also then would know the AFC West and know the Kansas City Chiefs well, that's also very important. He played in the NFL from 1991 to 99 and has been with the Chiefs OC since 2018. To be honest with you, the only reason why he's not number 2 on this list and why he's number 3 for me is because of his background. You guys can go ahead and Google it. He's got some bad issues in his background that he's had in his past. The Raiders might not want to bring somebody to their organization that has had those background issues, but if you are trying to win football games, I do think Eric Bieniemy is going to be a great, great head coach for the Raiders. Now, this next list is my list of, sorry guys, it's not going to happen. You can add Nick Saban to this list. You can add Bill Belichick to this list because when I ask people, hey, who do you want the Raiders' next head coach to be recently, I've been getting a lot of Mike Tomlins. Tomlin's not going to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jack Del Rio, I want nothing to do with Jack Del Rio here in Las Vegas. Bill Musgrave, sorry, ain't going to happen. What about Gus Bradley? He used to be a head coach. The Raiders are going to clean house. Rich Bisaccia, Gus Bradley, Greg Olson, they're all going to be gone. Now, I will say this. Even though Tim Brown is on this list, I give Mr. Raider a lot of credit. He's been calling out some Raiders players recently, which that's the stuff I like. And Jerry Rice a few days ago, when I'm recording this video, said that he personally would pick Tim Brown to be the next Raiders head coach. I'm not going to do that because Brown doesn't have any coaching experience, but if they wanted to bring him in to be a wide receiver coach, that's something I could wrap my mind around. Now, if there's somebody out there that I missed, I always tell people, seriously, hit me up on Instagram. Give me a follow. That way you can stay up to date with Raiders news and rumors. And when I get free time, I do my best to answer your questions. Obviously, the more the show grows, the more my social media grows. It is becoming a little bit more difficult to go through hundreds and hundreds of messages every single day. But I am dedicated to my craft, and I'm dedicated to the nation. So hit me up on IG, Mitchell Renz 365. All right, let's get into the top 2 now. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. I actually really like Moore, and when you hear a lot of people like, again, I'm going to respect the hell out of Tony Romo. I think he's a very bright mind in the NFL. Romo went on record, and he couldn't say enough nice things about Kellen Moore. You hear a lot of people who I would personally say know football. They speak very highly of how intelligent Kellen Moore is. Now, he wasn't the best NFL quarterback, but he was able to put together, I think, a very solid scheme from one times he was at Boise State, Heisman Trophy finalist back in 2010. And I really, truly believe if you're looking for a bright young mind, Kellen Moore is definitely somebody to keep in mind. But coming in here at number 1 for my Raiders head coach candidates it's Brian Daboll, and this one has not changed whatsoever. What he's been able to do with Josh Allen in Buffalo, I mean, I can't say enough kind things because Allen had a strong arm. But watch the tape. Josh Allen was not a good college quarterback. He wasn't. His accuracy issues were there. But Daboll, I think, just deserves a lot of credit. Plus, he's learning underneath Sean McDermott. What Daboll and McDermott were able to do in Buffalo is what every Raider fan wants. Buffalo was an absolute shit show for 20-plus years. Whether you want to say it or not, this Raiders organization needs somebody that can come in, clean it up, and get to where it needs to go. The fact that he won Assistant of the Year in 2020, that's productive to me. The fact that he's coached underneath winners like Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. Last time I checked, those guys have been very, very good at head coaching, right? So I want Brian Daboll. He is clearly the number 1 candidate, and I truly believe that the best head coaching job available in 2022 is going to be Las Vegas. So Brian, if you want to come to the Raiders, let me know. I am more than happy to get you on the Raiders Report. So we're going to go through the head coaches one more time, but I want to know down in the comments, how many years have you been a Raiders fan? Because the product that I saw against the Chiefs where they lost 48-9, I've said it 100 times in the show, Raider Nation deserves better. And I want people to send this video to the Raiders. I want this video to hit Mark Davis's inbox, his email. I don't care, because I want him to know how long and how dedicated this fan base has been. So let me know, how many years have you been a Raiders fan? So here one more time, y'all, are my top 10 head coach candidates for Las Vegas. Dabo Sweeney, Todd Bowles, Jim Harbaugh, Joe Brady, Doug Peterson. If anybody wants to take a screenshot and put this on Instagram, put it on Twitter, all I ask is that you tag me, give me some credit. Also, Chat Sports, Mitchell Renz 365 at Chat Sports as well. And rounding out my Raiders head coach candidates, Nathaniel Hackett, Brian Leftwich, Bieniemy, Kellen Moore, and at number 1, it's Brian Daboll.